Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. Today we're going to create a sort of nested 3D cube pattern in Adobe Illustrator. We're going to start with a new document. It doesn't matter how big your document is. I'm just making one 1000 by 1000 pixels in size. We're going to use the polygon tool. It shares a toolbar position with the rectangle tool. So I'm just going down to click the polygon tool. Let's go and set a swatch color while we're here. I'm just going to fill this hexagon with a sort of pink color. So I'll click once in the document and I'm going to make a hexagon that has a radius of 200 and 6 sides because that makes it a hexagon. I'll click OK. I'm going to click away from everything here. I'm going to choose a different color this time. I'm going back to my polygon shape. I'm going to click once in the document. This time I'm going to do one with a radius that is half the previous radius. In my case, that's 100. Now, I'm going to place these lined up really neatly in a minute, but I'm not going to worry about the neatness right now. Going to the line tool, I'm just going to hold the shift key as I drag out a line. It doesn't matter really how long your line is, but it's going to have to be long enough to go in an angle across your shape, so just be aware of that. We're going to Object, Transform, Rotate, and the first rotation is going to be 30 degrees, and just click OK. That's going to be this line here. With the line still selected, now you're going to do Object, Transform, Rotate. This time we're going to rotate 60 degrees, and this time we want the original plus a copy, so we're going to click on Copy. So we've got two lines here. And now you can just hold down the Control key, that's Command on the Mac, and press the letter D to get the third line. So now we've got everything that we need. I'm going to select over absolutely everything and I'm going to line them. Now you can do this from Window Align using the Align panel options. I'm seeing mine up here, so I'm just going to use them because they're a bit easier. Horizontal Align Center and Vertical Align Center. So everything should be neatly lined up at this point. Now we're going to the Shape Builder tool, and it's over here. It shows a toolbar position with the Live Paint Bucket tool. Before you hit the Shape Builder tool, go and select everything. That's really important. Click on the Shape Builder tool. Now we're going to work out what we want and what we don't want. Well, we don't want any of these outside lines, so we can get rid of those by holding down the Alt key and just drag over each of these lines in turn. Now what I want next is I want this piece and this piece to be joined together. So I'm simply going to just drag my mouse over these two pieces. Drag it and then let go. And that makes a shape. The fact that it's lost its color is purely a material right now. I want these two to be a shape as well, so just drag over them, and then these two to be a shape. And then inside here, what I want is for these two to be a shape. So I'm just going to drag over them, and then moving around my shape, these two are going to be a shape and these two are going to be a shape. And that's it. So I'm just going to click away with the selection tool. Now you might notice, and it may happen to you or it may not. If it doesn't happen to you, don't worry about it. But if it does happen to you that you seem to have thicker lines here than around the outside, and mine are thicker in the middle than the outside, just select over everything and go and have a look at your stroke, because you'll see here that my stroke is aligned to the inside, which is why I'm getting like double strokes everywhere where there are two lines butted up against each other. So with everything selected, I'm going to put my strokes on the center, and when I do, you'll see that all those double lines have disappeared. So next thing we have to do is just go and make these shapes the color that we want. If we go to the Layers panel and open everything up, you'll see that I just have shapes here. Everything has been broken out from hexagons and lines into the exact shapes that I want. So I need three colors to work with. I'm going to select over this shape first of all. This is going to be my darkest, and so I'm going to Swatches panel. I'm going to choose this as my darkest color. Now if that's my darkest color, so too is this little box here. So I'm just going to select it and I'm going to make it the same color. And then this shape here and this shape here are going to be the same color, and they're going to be my lightest colors. So I'm going to make that this color here, and then I'm going to select on this shape and I want to make it this color. Now I can go and reselect that color, or I could just go to the eyedropper tool and just click on the color that I want to copy. So back to the selection tool. This is my middle color here. So let's just click on it to make it the middle color. Let's go to this shape here. This time I'm going to just use the eyedropper. You could use the swatches panel. So right now I've got everything that I need for my pattern. So I'm going to select over this shape. I'm going to Object Pattern and then Make. Click OK. I'm going to bring in my pattern options dialog, which is on my second monitor. For this, all you need to do is to click the tile type and just choose hex by column. And what that does is it just lines everything up pretty well, except not quite. You can see here that I've got some double lines. So I'm just going to make sure that this has got a line through it. I'm just going to shrink these down a little bit, because not only are they not whole numbers, they've got numbers after the decimal point, but also everything is just a little bit thick. And if I bring this down to, for me, 400 by 346, you can see that this pattern is now really, really neat. If you want to see more copies of this pattern just to see how everything's going, go to copies and just set it to something like 9 by 9. At this point, you can use the zoom tool to zoom out and just check that your pattern looks okay. And mine looks just fine. So I'm just going to click Done. But there's a second opportunity to make a pattern here, and that is something that doesn't have the black lines. So here's my pattern here in the swatches panel. Make sure that you don't have anything selected when you go and do this. I'm going to pick up this pattern. I'm going to drop it onto the plus sign, because that's just a copy of the pattern. And now if I click that, I can go back to my pattern. I'm going to make a small change to it. What I want to do is I want to select the pattern piece. Now, most of this is not selectable. Can't select things here. I just need to work out what is selectable. So I'm just going to choose Select All. And this is the shape that is being repeated to make my pattern. You can see that it's got a mix of fills, but they've all got this black stroke. So I'm going to click on the black stroke and I'm going to remove it. And that removes it for the entire pattern. So I'm just going to click away and we can just zoom out and just see what it looks like. Same basic pattern, but this time without the line. So I'll just click Done. Let's go and see what this is going to look like. So I'm just going to make a rectangle here that I can fill with my pattern. Well, here is the second of the patterns, and we can go to the swatches panel. Just make sure that we're targeting the fill and not the stroke. Go to the swatches panel and test out the first pattern. Now, having created these patterns, if you don't like the colors, that's really easy to resolve. Select the pattern that you want to edit. Go up here to the Recolor Artwork dialog, and here I'm going into Advanced Options and then into Edit. If I hover over here, you'll see that it says Unlink Harmony Colors. So I would click it to unlink it, which means that the colors are currently linked. And so what I can do is simply drag the colors around to a new position, and I'm going to get a pattern that is colored with colors that have the same spatial relationship to each other. Now, if I find something I like but I'm not seeing enough contrast, I can drag these in along their lines, or you can simply unlink them and go and find a better set of colors to use. You don't have to use all monochromatic colors. You can break out and go in any direction that you like. When you see something you like, click OK, and you'll see here in the swatches panel that a brand new pattern has been made. So we've still got the one that we just edited, and we've got the new one with the new colors, and you can do that over and over as often as you like. If you like carefully researched content like this, clearly presented in a step-by-step format so that you can get great results, then you'll love my Skillshare content. I'm a Skillshare top teacher. I have hundreds of short courses on Skillshare that you can access, along with thousands of other great courses, all for the price of a single subscription. If you're interested, there's a Skillshare coupon for you in the description below to use to sign up. Using this coupon benefits me as a creator, and it helps me continue to make free content available here for you also on YouTube. Thank you for joining me for this video tutorial. On the screen now, you'll see a video that I've hand-picked for you. If you enjoyed the video you've just watched, I know that you're going to really enjoy the one I've picked for you to watch next.